Welcome to our lecture online. Here are some additional examples of how we need to calculate the tension in the string, and here we have some various apparatus, some various systems. Here we're starting with the Atwood machine. Notice we have a pulley, we have a string going over the pulley, a mass at both sides. Notice that M2 is bigger than M1, so we can assume the acceleration will be in that direction, clockwise. And here we need to figure out the tension T1 and the tension T2. So we're trying to figure out what these are equal to. But then we have to realize if the pulley has no mass and no friction, so usually they will tell you it's a small pulley with very little mass and no friction, then the tension on both sides will be equal to one another. So we can then conclude that T1 equals T2. Now, since M1 is being accelerated upward, T1 will be equal to the weight of M1 plus the force required to accelerate it, so M1G plus M1A. Since M2 is accelerating downward, tension 2 will be equal to M2G minus M2A, of course realizing that both of these are equal to each other, so we can say that M1G plus M1A equals M2G minus M2A. In the second example, we have a table, the object on the table. Notice there is no friction between the table and the mass, M1, and then M2 is hanging there. There's a rope connecting the two, there's a pulley in between to change the direction. We can assume the acceleration will be clockwise around the pulley. And again, we can assume that T1 must equal T2 because it's a single rope, and if the pulley has no mass and no friction, the two tensions are definitely equal. In the case of T2, we can say that's equal to the weight, M2G minus M2A, because it's accelerating downward. In the case of M1 here, T1, that's simply the force required to accelerate M1, so T1 equals M1A, but again, they're equal to one another, T1 and T2. What happens when there's friction? The same situation, but now we have friction between the table and M1, so we have the weight M1G acting downward, the normal weight pushing back, and that causes a friction to exist. Friction is the normal force times mu. The normal force is M1G, so the friction force is M1G mu. Again, tension 1 must equal tension 2 because it's a single string connecting the two masses over the pulley, which has no mass and no friction. So when the pulley has mass, we will have to solve it in a different way and the tensions will not be the same. But as long as they tell you that the mass is 0, the mass is very small, you can ignore it, and there's no friction on the pulley, the two tensions are equal to each other. So for T2, since it's accelerating downward, we can say that T2 is equal to the weight of the object, M2G minus M2A. T1 will be equal to the force required to accelerate M1 plus the force required to overcome the friction, so it's going to be M1A plus mg mu. Where that came from, of course, we can say net force equals ma. The net force is the force aiding the acceleration. Tension is in the same direction as the acceleration relative to m1. And mg mu, which is the friction force, which acts in the opposite direction, so that's an opposing force. Aiding force minus opposing force equals mass times acceleration. Solve for t, and you get this equation. Finally, our final example, we have three masses, one on the table, one on each side of the two pulleys, and notice there's no friction on the table. So here we can say that tension 1 is not equal to tension 2. These are two different strings attached to different masses on the outside, so they're not going to be equal to each other. Of course, on both sides of the pulley, the tension is the same. On both sides of this pulley, the tension is the same. Let's assume acceleration in this direction. T2 can be found by simply saying that it's equal to the weight of this block, and we can put in the weight. I guess we didn't do that, but we can put in the weight. So this here would be M3G, and this here would be M1G. And of course here we have M2G, and now we have the normal force pushing back. But since there's no friction, we don't have to worry about that. The normal force, which is M2G. But we don't have to worry about that because they're perpendicular to the motion of M2, so they don't add or detract from that motion or the acceleration. So to find T2, it's equal to the weight of this, M3G minus M3A, because it's accelerating downward. On this side, T1 will be equal to M1G plus M1A, because it's being accelerated upward against gravity. Or you can also think of T2 as being the force to accelerate this one upward and hold the weight of this one. So you can say T2 is M1G plus M1A plus the force required to accelerate this one. If you combine these two in a free body diagram, you can see D2 can also be expressed as this. Of course, those two answers must be the same. And again, various situations like this, but if you work through all these examples, you'll begin to see how there's that commonality between them, and you'll be more easily figure out how to get the tension on the various strings in various situations. And that is how it's done.